So the positive on Bitcoin here, and by the way, Bitcoin on the 10-minute chart is actually upticking, which makes a lot of sense, right? We just got good earnings. People are feeling like it's back to risk on. You had a little bullish consolidation, so Bitcoin's beginning to make a little bit of a move up. But really, at least from a technical perspective, Bitcoin continues to be stuck in between these two lines. And I'll just erase that other one so we see it very clearly. We have our support line and our resistance line, and we're kind of in between these two. So as a technician, I'm just kind of neutral on it, on the bias, no positive, no negative, and I'm just watching to see, can we break above here or do we break here? Whichever way we break, I think you get a significant move in that direction.
Wait a minute, everyone. Welcome to Bitcoinzilla, your platform for daily cryptocurrency analysis and news. Our mission is to keep it simple. Bitcoinzilla offers engaging information that is easy to understand. Our analysts keep their eyes on the latest news to provide valuable insights via email. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Join our community of 10,000 subscribers and experience the new edge with Bitcoinzilla. Subscribe now. Gareth will share his insights on Bitcoin is wedged between crucial support and resistance lines. The question is, will it break free and soar, or will it buckle under pressure? Let's join Gareth in this interview about these topics and more.
For the most part, interestingly enough, the S&P performed relatively well. Like today could have been one of those days with the GDP number where we got the meta news where this market could have just collapsed.
Yeah.
Instead, look at this. I mean, we opened at the lows and we've been trending neutral to higher the rest of the day. Now, we're not back to the break-even point. We're still net negative, but overall, impressive little float up. The question is, as we get into the Microsoft and Alphabet earnings after the close, will this hold or will we just dump out again? And that's going to be the thing. Also, tomorrow, the PCE data, the inflation data will be huge for the market. And I think a lot of people don't understand what's going on today. So we had the GDP numbers came in weaker. Now, normally you'd say, oh, wow, weaker economic data. Wouldn't rates go down? But instead, rates went up. And the reason they went up is because we're seeing a lot of underlying inflation pressures, but now we have a weaker economy. And there's something called stagflation, which is really the scary, like that's the monster in the closet for the economy and for investors. And so stagflation, just to kind of define that.
Yeah, please.
It's where, so in a normal inflationary environment where you have 3%, 4% inflation, usually if you look historically, the economy is always strong during those periods. So people make more money. And so they're like, okay, well, prices are up 5%, but I'm making more money, so I can deal with that. In a stagflationary economy, you have inflation going up, but the economy going down, so people are making less money, and then it's really negative because it's harder to afford the higher prices. And that's what the market is starting to be concerned about now. So we'll have to see how it goes, but right now, at least for today's price action, yes, it's a down day, but it's not really the worst down day ever. I mean, by no means is this a horrendous down day.
BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF wallets hold over $20,000 in Runes tokens. Arkham data shows, amid the excitement of Bitcoin's new Runes protocol, BlackRock's exchange-traded fund, ETF wallets now contain over $20,000 worth of RSIC*G and ESIC* reunion tokens. While BlackRock's Spot Bitcoin Exchange-Traded Fund, ETF, IBIT, experienced a continuous influx for 71 days before halting this week, Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust, GBTC, holds the record with 72 consecutive days of outflows, surpassing all other ETF on record. No ETF has ever done anything close to that, observed Eric Balchunas, Bloomberg's senior ETF analyst, on Thursday. In a significant legal move, Consensus has initiated a lawsuit against the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, to protect the Ethereum blockchain from what it deems overreaching regulations. A report further alleges that the SEC issued a Wells notice to Consensus, asserting that MetaMask functions as an unlicensed broker-dealer. Standard Chartered, which was previously optimistic about the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, approving Spot Ether Exchange-Traded Fund, ETF, applications in May, has now revised its prediction. The bank still sees a positive long-term future for Spot Ethereum ETF.
Oh, Microsoft, nice little pop on Microsoft here. So again, Microsoft right out of the gate, look at that. So now all of a sudden, we went from things looking so bad to now people are going to be like, oh, okay, things are okay, because Microsoft's ripping up here. Now, I don't have a trade on Microsoft today, so we don't have to worry about me running off set here.
Not going anywhere.
And to be honest, if you looked at the chart, right, so if you look at the types of trades I take, right, it wasn't like we were at like this up here. It wasn't like it was it was down, but you wouldn't call this like way down like Tesla was, where I had to trade as well on the long side. And so that's one of the reasons why I was just like, you know what? I have no edge on this in terms of analysis, so you just stay away and you let it do its thing. Now it's popping up. If it got up to here, 430, that would be an interesting resistance level because that's its all-time high. That's really the only level at this point we have. But that's a pretty impressive move, and that's going to carry the S&P and the NASDAQ futures up.
I was going to ask you, the impact you think so.
Oh, yeah. With being a $3 trillion company, this is a very impressive move because, again, from 398 to 420, it's about 5% on a $3 trillion company. That'll be a hefty move. Now, let's quickly just check in on Google. Google here, I had a level to short potentially here. Look at this move. All right, so this is a key one here. So what we're seeing here, guys, it's 162.50. I have a level basically at 165. It's the upper range. So we'll see if it ends up getting there. But this higher level right here around 165 would be an interesting opportunity. High risk, but an interesting opportunity at a short. You can see how basically it bounces off. It goes from the low to the highs, and then comes down to the high, to the low. And the concept being is if it gets up to that high, it would pull back off of that resistance. And again, all we're doing here is we're just looking at history and seeing that this line seems powerful, and every time it hits, it does pull back.
Yeah.
So it's earnings season is always exciting. I just wanted to check in on Intel. Ooh, look at Intel. Intel getting a smackdown here on Intel. So again, earnings right now, it's pretty wild stuff. So it seems like Microsoft and Google are the big names. Those are the trillion-dollar companies. Intel, it's important, but it's not a trillion-dollar name. So right now you would favor upside tomorrow, assuming the PCE data doesn't come out and scare everyone tomorrow morning.
Morgan Stanley, a leading global investment bank, is reportedly considering expanding access to Bitcoin spot exchange-traded funds, ETF. The firm may soon authorize its approximately 15,000 brokers to actively solicit customer purchases. BNB Chain, one of the largest smart contracts-enabled ecosystems in the crypto environment, has announced the inclusion of native liquid staking in its BSC blockchain. The new feature aims to allow validators to secure the network and maintain the liquidity of its assets while the ecosystem abandons the beacon chain. Nubank, a Brazilian neobank, has introduced new features for its cryptocurrency customers. The Sao Paulo-based organization recently enabled deposits and withdrawals of Bitcoin, Ether, and Solana in its cryptocurrency service, broadening the use cases of its platform. Before, the company only allowed users to purchase, hold, and sell cryptocurrency assets.
Yeah, Meta definitely did. It actually rallied well off of the lows. In fact, yesterday after hours, Meta was trading as low. Look at this. This collapse here. Let's go to the chart. This collapse actually we went down to $400. So basically from 500 to 400, that was where it was down 20%. Then the rest of the after hours into this morning, it was kind of chopping. And then really today, what we saw is the float higher. So again, we were as low as 400 yesterday after hours. We're now at 441 going into the end of the day. So again, a little bit of action there, opportunities for trades. I know Dr. B in the trading room today, he caught a nice short right off of this. There was a great signal intraday, and he made a decent amount of money on the short side of Meta, even though it trended up most of the day. So that was an interesting mover. The other ones, we definitely had BMY was a pretty wild one today. For BMY being down this much, and right now I have it on the monthly, but let's go to the daily chart. You can see being down 8.5% for Bristol Myers, that's kind of a massive move for a drug stock. And again, one of the things I'm seeing here is that Bristol Myers is actually into this longer-term monthly trend line. If I zoom out, we can see this trend line here. So again, I don't know if it's going to stop here, but for a drug stock that's pretty stable, it is getting into this low. It has this longer-term trend line here. So it is something that I'm starting to pay attention to as a potential swing trading opportunity. And then, of course, we have a couple others. IBM was a big one here.
Yep.
IBM whipped around a lot today. Ultimately, it didn't get down to any of my targets that I was looking for. I was looking at 160 and then 153. It kind of stabilized and just kind of chopped sideways for the course of the day.
If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.